Guess what we get to do today?
No!
That's right.
No! Hello, I am Jesse McGraw, and we will be talking about Norse mythology, about Skirnir's journey. And this starts in the Norse mythology with the guy named Freyr. One day, Freyr was sitting on Odin's throne, and no one's supposed to do that. But when you're up on the throne, you can see all of Asgard and all the places of the land. And he was looking out across all the wastes and the chasms and all the stuff going on. He could see everything. But one thing caught his eye. This super hot chick. She was just banging, like hot. It was great. And he's like, oh man, I really like that chick. But he couldn't go there because he knew that was the daughter of a bad giant who lived on a mountain of fire. That was crazy. So yeah, he got down from the throne after Odin was like, dude, the hell. And he walked around Asgard just kind of mopey and sad. He's like, man, I'm never going to get this chick. How am I going to get through fire and then have enough stuff to go even see her? So he went to his dad and he's like, Dad, this chick's super hot. I want to marry this chick, put a ring on it. And he's like, that sounds great. I was kind of worried about you. So he looked to his servant named Skinner, not Leonard Skinner, like Skinner. And he's like, Skinner, I don't like it that my son's sad all the time. So he gave him a horse that could just run through fire, which is pretty cool. And he's like, here's a sword. We're probably going to need it later for Armageddon, but I figured you should have it. So here. So I need you to take my trusty horse that can run on fire and my trusty sword that I'm supposed to use in the apocalypse. And I need you to go to this woman and find her and make sure that she marries my son. And he's like, all right, that sounds like a great idea. Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to risk my life for your son. So Skinner loads up. He's like, man, I am ready for this journey. So he hops on his magical steed and he runs through the forests of Midgard and Asgard and everything. And he gets to the mountains that are covered in fire. And he's super protected with this horse. And he's like, man, this is super sweet. I wish I could keep this horse. And then all the way there, he's just thinking, I gotta make sure that she marries my master's son. So he gets there, and it's just two huge mountains that kind of look like boobs, is how he describes it. So when he gets to the house, he knows there's two greyhounds, and they're pissed. They keep barking and stuff. And he's like, man, I'm never going to get past these dogs with my sword. And he sees a lone herdsman sitting on the hill. He's like, hey, dude, how do I get past the dogs? And the guy's just like, no, I'm not going to tell you, man. Have fun. So he walks back down. And one of the handmaids of the really hot chick, I don't remember her name at the moment, but she's like, hey, there's a guy outside. And immediately she goes to the thought of, this guy killed my brother. I mean, that doesn't make sense at all. So, I don't know what was going on there. She's like, let him into my house and give him some mead. So he's going to start drinking and invite him so I might know of him and stuff. So the maiden goes out there and she lets him in, and the dogs are kind of pissed that he gets to walk by, but whatever. And he's like, hey lady, my friend wants to have sex with you. She's super put off by this. Oh man. And one second. Her name's Gerd? Shitty name. So she came out and welcomed him, and she's like, are you an elf? Are you a god? She didn't have any clue who this guy was. And he's like, no, I'm not an elf. I'm not a god. But I'm just here because I need to talk to you about this guy. He thinks you're hot. And she's like, no, I don't want to talk to him. I am a strong woman who needs no man. And that's bullshit. Listen, if you don't come with me right now, no one can have you. I forbid it. No one in the lands, no creature, no one, nothing can have this woman. She's gonna be alone for eternity. Take that in your pipe hole, biznitch. And she starts crying, and she's like, okay, in like 9 days, can I meet this guy maybe? And he's like, yeah, sounds great. And he leaves. And then he goes back to Freyr's dad, Njord, and he's like, hey, guess what? 9 days? Send your son out to the forest, they'll hook up. He's like, dude, that's too long! Whatever, thanks, man. And that's the story of Skinner. Now Leonard Skinner. Yep. Am I done?